boxing talk, man. So yo, y'all seen you seen the news about what y'all think about Errol Spence talking about he thinks prime for prime he would beat Floyd Mayweather. What y'all think about that?
Well, he just got into a car accident and shit. So, he probably ain't even in his right mind, after that car.
Because Papa
But
Brown,
he hit his head
because
too hard
Papa
on the
Brown, he
table.
got in the car accident. Like my man said, he ain't really other than Phil Brooks, he ain't seen his prime yet, B-Mo.
Sorry, you sound a little muffled, Chris.
I said we ain't really seen his prime. You said prime for prime. He
Yeah.
only had like two fights, two legitimate fights at 147.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he talking about he don't even want to fight Keith Thurman now and shit. So, I'm not. I'm not riding out with Earl Spence like that. He not fighting Crawford. Whether it's his fault or not, he ain't fought him. And he ain't clean up his. He ain't doing nothing, man. This
Well, he's
kid
a
is young, man.
unified champion. He's the only unified welterweight champ, so he can't say he
Man,
doing nothing.
But pound for pound podcast
he
last
fought.
night, my man
He
ain't got
fought.
no. He ain't even born yet. He might not even fight the next year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I said. I said last year that this year was over with. You know
Yeah,
what?
because he said his teeth ain't even fixed, B. Morris. He ain't even had that surgery yet.
Well, I could hear how he talks. It's like he got dentures. He now has a lisp like Keith Thurman. You
Yeah,
know?
but he ain't even had that surgery. He can't get hit in the face yet. He said that on an open smoke podcast.
Oh
He just
shit.
hit the pass.
Yeah, I told you. What I tell you? Didn't I tell you it was done for the
Yeah.
year? I said it.
Yeah.
Done for
But
the
once
year.
he had that surgery, you gotta give him time to heal up.
Yeah, man, he ain't did shit. He fought Sean Porter. He
That's
was
a good
already
win.
beat up.
That's a good win.
He already beat up. And then
Carol
Carl
Brooks.
Brooks,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking nobody else. I mean,
And Lamar Peterson.
it's
Lamar
decent.
Peterson was washed up though.
He was.
Right, yeah, he was. Yeah, he's small. He was like a 140 fighter. So, come on, man.
Oh, usually Lamar
Bundle was
Peterson
strong
is a
when he
big guy.
fought.
He just looks small against Errol Spence because Spence is a big welterweight.
Yeah, Bundle was Aaron Bundle, what his real size is, little Bundle, because he was in his late 30s or 40s, early 40s when he fought Earl.
Yeah.
And he fought Chris Algieri, another 140 fighter. He didn't did much, man. You know.
What about the rumors always that Errol Spence gave Floyd a black eye in sparring?
That's
Yeah,
sparring
that's
though.
fun, yeah.
True.
That's,
So prime for
What's
prime, what Floyd are we talking about? Are we going to talk about Floyd prime for prime just period in his career, or when he was at his best at 147?
if you had his best at 147, he might beat Arrow.
yeah, he'll
Which
beat
Floyd is that?
Arrow
The Floyd who
was
beat Judah and Baldomir, or is it the Floyd that beat Mosley and everybody else?
Man, that's the Floyd that beat Mosley, man. Cause that the Floyd that beat Canelo. Yeah, he beat Canelo.
Yeah, at a catch weight. A catch weight.
Yeah, but Canelo was young. He wanted it. He
Yeah.
wanted it, man.
Canelo wanted that smoke.
And Canelo put it out there. Canelo put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Floyd was like, okay, you gotta lose 2 pounds.
That young age, that man was in his early 20s. At that young age, I don't think that catch weight affected him like that.
Nah,
True.
He was eating. Man, he was eating his diet, man. It was. Man, that was one
His
hell of a
diet
diet.
was full of clenbuterol. Clenbuterol meat.
I think it was like boiled spinach or whatever the hell he was eating. Boiled chicken.
Yeah, because he made that damn Sean Porter. I'll be honest with you though.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Garcia a little better, even that, because I thought Danny Garcia beat Sean Porter.
I did
But
too,
I
man. I had it
I
7-5.
thought Danny Garcia a little better than Errol Spence though when he fought Sean Porter.
Uh,
Other than the knockdown,
yes.
because
Well,
Errol was getting punched in the face a lot. Errol was getting fucked up in that fight.
how'd you have that fight with Sean Porter and Spence? How'd you score it?
I had Sean Porter winning because of the.
Really?
I had Errol Spence winning. He
Oh, I
knocked
was
him down.
about to say.
Yeah. That's based on the last time.
How you had a PNC?
Shoot, man.
Spence and Porter.
Yeah, I probably just edge it to Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. But
I think that's what it was. I think people expected Spence to wash Sean Porter due to the fact, remember, Sean Porter was ducking Spence for 2 years.
But that's what Spence said he was going to do. He said he was going to kill Sean Porter. He was going to wash him. He said that out of his mouth.
I don't quite remember what he said.
I think Sean Porter was a little late with his rough tactics. You know what I'm saying? He should have did that earlier, in the fight.
Yeah, it was a very good fight. It was a war inside fight. Both of them landed body shots. Errol Spence did land the more power shots, more straight punches. Of course, the knockdown. I had the 7-5, and I didn't see no 7 rounds. That Sean Porter won. He ain't win no 7 rounds.
No.
What surprised me though, being the Sean Porter sloppy fighter, he had better footwork than Errol to me.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He's very athletic, man.
Yeah, that was very impressive how he was pivoting, especially to get to the body, and how he had Spence on the ropes, but Spence was firing back. He was.
Yeah, but now that I watch these fights and the footwork and shit, he better leave it. Because I had time to think about this early on. I didn't believe this. He better leave Terrence Crawford alone.
Talk to him, Chris.
After watching that fight, Mars, I kind of thought, nah, he can't beat him now.
I feel you, man. I've always slightly favored, what's his name, Bud, but just off the footwork, the ambidextrous, switching stances. I think he has more punch variety. But dude is a natural 147. Spence, unlike Crawford. Go ahead, PNC.
I apologize. I cut you off. I didn't hear what the last thing you said.
I said Spence is the natural welterweight, unlike Bud. To me, that's
true. I was like, but what if Crawford get chin? You know what I'm saying? Can he take it?
Yeah. We yet to know.
The white guy did. He got knocked down though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Gamboa knocked him down.
Yeah, he knocked him down. He rocked him in round 9.
He rocked him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he rocked him. Something crucial.
Like he could get caught.
But that was a Bud being stupid and doing some Pernell Williams, not even like showboating, but kind of walking him down with his hands down, like thinking like he got him, and he got clipped by Gamboa.
It's like that.
After this. Go ahead.
With Jeff Horn, he was able to beat Jeff Horn down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Jeff Horn ain't Earl Spence.
And he showed, Jeff Horn's a big dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a big guy. So he can't beat down a big guy.
Yeah.
And he was athletic. Jeff Horn's pretty athletic,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty athletic.
I got something like people post the certain situations like people that.
You sound a little muffled, Chris. You sound a little muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
I said, I got to tell you something I can't tell you online because I told people I won't put that out there.
Yeah, what you had told me before?
Yeah, I'll tell y'all after I'll tell PNC after we get off.
True indeed. I could dig it, man. But hey.
I don't want old boy to get in trouble.
True. Yeah, we ain't gonna put nobody's neck out there, man. We're not gonna be like Dillian White who makes up stuff. Talk about Wilder got knocked out at sparring when Vladimir Klitschko, Jonathan Banks, all of them said he didn't. So what I'm supposed to believe?
Came out Klitschko home out.
No, man, that was a smoke screen because what's his name and them Javante King Davis and them came down and beat up their boys, man. Remember Kell Brook got that L? What's his name? Earl Spence.
Yeah.
Then Terry Davis beat up old boy.
Yeah, the Liam Walsh kid.
Story came out. That's when that story came out. What's his name? Spencer Fury. Did you see that interview I did? We did.
Yeah, I remember you going in on Spencer, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that, man. I'm big up for that, PNC.
Yeah.
For that smoke screen. That's what he did, man.
True.
That's what Johnny Nelson did. Because at that time, man, Earl Spence and Javante Tate Davis went over there and beat up their champion. it was talking about is British boxing, any good? Because prior to that, they were picking up a lot of belts.
Yeah, 2014 they had the most belts out of any country in boxing.
Yeah, they was holding it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when our guys went over there and took them belts back, took some of them belts back, they was like, damn, man, I don't know that good, Even though that was like two and a half years ago. But then that's when they put out that story. Johnny Nelson, Prince of Fury put out that story that Wilder got knocked out and camp and stuff like that. That changed the whole story for the rest of the summer,
True.
Because that was like at the tail end of the summer. I remember that.
Yeah, those guys, Johnny Nelson and what's the other guys? These guys are not what's the word? These guys don't seem professional with how they call boxing and talk boxing. Johnny Nelson. Who's the other guy? These guys are like fanboys.
Yeah, dude, man, they from the streets, man. I'm just Johnny Nelson. He's from Sheffield, right?
Yeah. Winker. What you call that, Jim? Charlie Brown. Winker banker. What you call that?
Yeah,
Prince Nassim and them, Jim.
I think that's what it is. Winker banker.
Winker banker or something.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, he was saying like, you got to realize he's from Sheffield. And they about being loyal to they clique and stuff like that. And if you know about Johnny, I read an article about. I was gonna do it like a little piece on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna dog him out. I've been talking about.
Yeah, if you make a video about him, I hope it's to say how boring he was and how he lost some fights and got gift decisions.
Yeah, but
he got a lot of gift decisions.
But with him, he's about his whole character and makeup is about being a people person and making people happy.
Yeah.
And then him from Sheffield, you being
polite, man.
Go ahead.
You being polite, man. That nigga's a coon,
man. Hey, man, Charlie said it.
He's a Sambo, man.
I ain't gonna disagree with him.
Is, man. He's
you know better than that. I don't know him like that. But from what I've seen, like his bread and butter is pleasing, people pleasing. And then he definitely has to do that in Sheffield because he said in Sheffield that's the way it is because they turn on you like that. They can turn on you like that in Sheffield. That's what he was telling.
Yeah, what you call that gym, Charlie Brown? Winker banker? What you call it?
I forgot the name of it.
With Prince Nassim.
Them guys from Sheffield.
And Ingle.
Yeah,
Brendan Ingle.
Winkelbecker, something like that.
Yeah, and
Brian Ingle.
Harold Graham.
A lot of them dudes, I mean, there's a few things going to come out in the future, man. I ain't going to say it now, but there's a few things going to come out in the future. But I think you guys are hitting on, the feeling of what most... Johnny Nelson, he's always been... I remember when Tyson Fury went to Germany to fight Klitschko, they were checking the mat, they were checking the canvas before the fight, and it was all slippy and all that kind of stuff. And he said, and too bouncy, and they got it changed. Yeah, Johnny Nelson was saying to Tyson Fury, "No, man, I went to Germany, and they tried to cheat me, but I just went on with the fight. See, you can't say that." I'm glad that Tyson Fury said what he said, and that's why, if you remember, you see the whole yes man thing. It was Tyson Fury that called Johnny Nelson a yes man. He didn't call him a Sambo, but he did call him a yes man. He said, "You're a Sky Sports. It's like you're there to please, like just like you said, please people and that." I've never really liked him, man. There's a lot of fuckeries in boxing, and he's never called it out or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
He's a company man, very company.
Another thing he done, when he fought Carl Thompson, yes, he did beat Carl Thompson, but however, that should have been a standing 8, man. Yeah. That should have been a standing 8 count. Yeah, that he was the champion. You got to give the fighter the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. The referee just stopped it. It just off a flurry. He didn't even knock him out. You know what I mean? Didn't even knock him down. Just off a flurry like that. I don't know, man. I've never really liked him. Then after that, he didn't rematch Carl Thompson because he knew. Yeah. He knew it. Yeah. He knew on equal terms it would have. I never really liked dude, man.
Me neither.
You know what I mean?
Never did.
He took too long to win the title as well. He had something like 6 attempts at the title or more.
Yeah.
And he lost every single one before he won it. And
He had lost many fights before he became
he was
a champion.
cautious. He never really. And I'm saying I'm from the UK, but that guy I never really liked him. And now he's on TV. He's even worse.
Yep.
He just trying to keep his job, man. He just trying to keep the punditry gave him a new lease of life. And he's trying to keep his job, but some of the fuckery, like, it's mad. I don't really like Sheffield fighters anyway. They make too many excuses. You know,
I like
Prince
Nassim.
He tried to blame it on Emmanuel Stewart when he lost to Barrera.
Yeah.
Barrera, Emmanuel Stewart said there was about 100 people in the room, 100 people at the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a documentary, like, before, and Emmanuel Stewart was worried. This guy's not taking these guys serious.
Yeah, he's man. I don't know, Johnny Nelson.
Yeah, Johnny Nelson is like a Tony Bellew. These guys are company guys.
Yeah.
I never liked Tony Bellew. I gave him props when he beat Makabu in Liverpool in that stadium, like the Rocky movie. Not Rocky? What you call that movie? With the Creed, right? Creed. It was just like the movie, and I thought it was great. I remember that fight. It was on a Sunday, you know what I mean? And he was losing, got dropped in the first round, but he came back and won the fight, and I was like, wow, okay, he's a world champion. But to me, he's talked a lot of shit and never backed it up. He talked shit against Stevenson, called him a pimp, called him a midget, all kind of stuff. And he got nobody has fucked up Tony Bellew like Stevenson did. You know what I mean? And
he tried to intimidate. He tries to intimidate people when he can't do it.
He's a bully. Absolutely.
When he can't do it, boy, that's He remind me of, you see, all Spencer Fearon, all of them, man. Even Derek Chisora got that kind of mentality. Except Chisora distanced himself from them, so he's changing now.
Oh, Chisora. Oh, absolutely. He was always a bully. Now he's a man of God, at least. That's what he proclaims.
Now he's the right way. But it's like, them man there, they always try and bully people, and they feel they could bully people. And when you stand up to them, I saw that thing with PNC and Spencer as well, man. Spencer talking mad grease as well, man. You know what I mean? I don't care for any pussy hole on this, that, and the third. It's like, look, boy, if you don't care, why you on YouTube? Why you there with Tunde Ajayi? You know what I mean? Why you there thinking? Because Sky got rid of him, innit?
Oh, really?
Sky got rid of his contract, yeah.
Okay.
He ain't renewing that contract.
I ain't noticed that. I haven't even seen. I've heard people talk about.
He said like he's Malcolm X. You know what I mean? You can't do that shit, man. You know what I mean? What you do, keep your head down, and then do your tours. When you go around the areas, the local community, then you do your black talks and all of that. Don't try and be dissing white people, but you eating off the white man. It would just make you look stupid.
Yo, we got some people in the chat.
I respect that dude, man.
We got Boxing Learner in the chat, and he says Porter was the bull and the matador in that Arrow fight. Okay. That's what's up, Boxing Learner. How did you score the fight, Boxing Learner? Let me know your scorecard if you're still in the chat. Jed Kyle's in the chat. What the deal, Jed Kyle? Thanks for coming through yet again. Big up, big up. Jed Kyle says Johnny Nelson was a cure for insomnia. Absolutely. If you're having trouble sleeping, just put on a Johnny Nelson fight. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says Stevenson pimp slap Bellew all around the ring. Absolutely, man. I love that shit. I love that fight. I watch it about once every 3 months. You know what I mean? Just like I listen to the Chronic, Dr. Dre's Chronic. I listen to it about once every 2 months, for nostalgia purposes. But
we still live?
Yeah, we live. We live right now. Absolutely.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we live. This is a whole new video. I forgot to tell you. I thought you knew. I thought you was here the whole time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You said the current state of boxing. I want to know everybody how you think we're gonna get back into boxing when Trump. We're not letting nobody come in the country no more, so we just gonna have to have fights in the United States.
So that just means local guys can fight each other, right? Guys like Lomachenko ain't coming back to USA, right? He gonna be pissed. He gonna be in Ukraine, be like,
affecting everybody.
huh?
Well, the thing is, when you really look at it, you ain't gonna miss him. He's not a crowd pleaser.
Nah,
He's
that's
not
him.
really a big draw.
Nah, that's him. A Nui. All them guys can't come over here.
Yeah, because
That's
his
what-
opponent Casemiro is
Yeah.
never left America. He came here for training, WBO champ. He's still around, and that's why Bob Arum said he's trying to put in his young prospect, that kid Josh Greer from Chicago, versus Casemiro, because possibly a unification with the Nui ain't gonna happen because he in Japan. He can't come to USA no time soon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, look, man, fuck it, man. America's it's the land of the brave, the biggest country in the world as far as
I agree with
boxing.
what you
Make
said.
these,
Showcase them guys, let them build up their resume. Showcase some other guys.
yeah. If these guys want to fight so bad, fuck it, put them in there. Even if they fighting in front of no crowd, even if it's tune-up fights, get some wins on your resume. You know what I mean? Stay active, stay busy. I think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
If you watch that card that Nata put up, where they actually had a boxing fight on was it last Sunday or the?
It was last Saturday. It was on ESPN Deportes. It was a card promoted by Rosendo Alvarez, the great Rosendo Alvarez, from the guy who fought what's the guy? A guy who I thought beat Ricardo Lopez. The only fight I thought Ricardo Lopez fought. He promoted the card in Nicaragua last Saturday. I didn't watch it one bit. I didn't see. I just saw highlights.
I saw them talking about it. I saw them disinfecting bathrooms and disinfecting the stands. Like,
Yeah.
coming there to watch.
Now there was nobody in the crowd though.
Well, why was it? They were doing a lot of disinfecting around the whole building.
Yeah, they did. I seen some highlights and there was nobody in the crowd. It was empty seats. The referee was masked and gloved up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
indeed.
probably what we're gonna have to do in boxing over here too.
Yeah, well, if fellas are willing to do it, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's get these fights popping. Even if it's not fighting no killers, stay busy fights. Josh Greer, you want a shot at Casemiro? Fine. If Inoue ain't gonna come over, if you want to get a tune-up fight in between, do it right now. If Top Rank gonna get it popping, or with all other promotional companies. I seen De La Hoya talking about maybe in June or July they're gonna get the Golden Boy show rolling.
Yeah, they bring a basketball these bars. They're trying to get it played at Disney.
Played where?
NBA at Disney.
Okay. In front of no crowd.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, a man like Charles Barkley said, man, if he had to play in front of no crowd, he wouldn't want to do it. Because he says the NBA is built by the fans. And
Shut up, ball. Stop trying to take my sports away from me.
you sound a little muffled.
I said, shut up, Charles Barkley. Stop trying to take my sports away from me.
I feel you, man. You know, but you know, only time will tell. You know, as of right now, we still haven't had no boxing in the States yet, and I'm not sure. All right, Boxing Learner said in the chat, I think Errol won 7 rounds to 5 rounds. Porter was the aggressor, but Errol had more effective punches for the most part. I can agree with that 100%.
That's the same score.
Yeah, that's how I had it. Absolutely. No bias thing. I'm not biased for nobody. For what? I look, man, I look in the mirror every morning and every night when I brush my teeth. I ain't gonna lie to myself, let alone lie to anybody about what I seen. And I seen Errol Spence win that fight. I didn't see no 7 rounds for Porter. I seen one man on the canvas, and it wasn't Errol Spence. That man Nati Turner came in my comment section talking about, you know, because Sean Porter said he gave Errol Spence a boxing lesson. Now I disagree with that 100%.
I totally disagree with that.
So Nati Turner came in my comment section and said that man, hey, that man smoking some high grade, man. He need to get a weaker strain. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was funny, man. Sean Porter smoking too much. He's joking. Obviously, we don't know if Sean Porter smokes or not. It's just a joke.
He's trying to get a rematch.
I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, you know, just because, you know, just like Mayweather Maidana. people don't like Floyd. They hate Floyd so much. They tried to say Maidana won that fight. Now Maidana to me won 4 rounds. It wasn't no 7-5. Tough fight for Floyd, but Floyd won that fight 8 rounds to 4. They said Floyd lost. Floyd did the rematch and washed him. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch just for Errol Spence to prove that he won the first fight and he can do it again.
I would like to see that as well, man. Just for the entertainment. Like, Porter's entertaining.
Yeah.
He didn't win that fight.
No.
Way. It was Spence that won that fight. The right man won it. But I'd like to see that again, man. They might as well. And since if what Chris is saying about the borders, I don't know how they're gonna go about that though, man. Because they got a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies supposed to come out. And if they're banning people from the country, I don't know how they're going to be selling movies in America and all of that.
You know what I heard recently while you said that, Charlie Brown? I heard that now it's movies. I forgot what it's, all movies or from a certain movie distributor like Universal or Lionsgate, whatever. They're going to put out movies directly in the movie theater, but release them on the same day on like DVD or digital. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They never do that. Usually movies come out. Yeah. Y'all heard about that?
Yeah, because they can't go to the movies and watch it. They're going to lose money.
They're going to lose money, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can buy it online. I mean, that's what's going on right now. Movies ain't staying in the movie theaters that long no more.
Yeah, these days movies come out. It used to take like 4 or 5 months before movies come on DVD.
Yeah.
Now, within 2 months or less, even a month. Like Black Panther.
Right.
Absolutely.
That might be the last big high-grossing film of its time, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that's it.
Which one?
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because a lot of people ain't going to be going to no movie theaters.
Was the first, action film that came from the comic that was like a blockbuster.
Yeah, it did $1 billion. What did it do? $1 billion at the box office or more? What was it, Chris? It was 1.5 billion. Yeah, it was a lot, innit? Yeah. I know Endgame. They say Endgame beat it, but I'm gonna check. I don't know if Endgame. I don't think Endgame.
Yeah, I think Endgame.
Avatar joint did good.
Oh, it did beat it. Yeah.
The Avatar joint did good.
Yeah.
When it came up with Avatar.
Yeah, but
Black Panther beat it.
That,
yeah.
It whipped that. Yeah, man, it whipped that. It whipped that. Because people went to see Black Panther twice. A lot of people went to go and see it twice.
Might get that bundle package, y'all, because you can watch all the Marvel movies. You can get Disney, ESPN, and Hulu for $12.95.
True. Yeah, man. So we'll see, man, as far as when boxing, if the borders will open up. Who knows, man? Who knows? But time will tell. I think these people in high places at some point in time they losing money and they're gonna want to recoup. And I do believe that they're not even really gonna be concerned too much about people's safety. If they have to put their events on.
They're already opening up now.
Yeah.
But they gotta open up. Because the thing is, the system is exactly what it is, a system. As far as money coming in, money coming out. Money coming in, money coming out. If you don't have nothing contributed to the system, it ain't gonna work,
Yeah, you can't even pay fighters if you're not generating no revenue.
Right. You need the revenue.
And you need the fighters to fight.
Spend the money, and then the money ain't gonna have no value. Just keep printing and printing it, and it's not even in circulation.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying? That's how you turn the value. That's why that Bitcoin thing goes up and down, because people got to use it.
Yep.
And you got value per capita and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as like each country's currency. And if it's all in the circulation of people.
Hey, you sound a little muffled, PNC. You sound a little muffled.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So So it ain't got no value, man, if you ain't using it. And as of right now, man, ain't nobody using it.
True indeed. Yeah, man.
The stimulus check, man, you gonna spend it. Where you gonna spend that?
The Deontay Wilder haters, they don't want Dewan Wilder to fight Fury for the third fight, even though he's contractually obligated. They want to
Yeah.
see Anthony Joshua versus Fury right now for undisputed.
Yeah, that fight ain't happening though.
Why not? Because Fury ain't got a British boxing license?
Nah, man, do exercise for that. That's a good one. That's a good one, big boy. Man, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, and also Wilder's contractually obligated to fight the guy.
Right. They what's their exercise contract?
Yeah.
So you want to do that?
You see what they're gonna do now? See, they're trying to force Fury to get that license, and he don't want it because he remembers how they treated him during the time when he was in exile. You know what I mean? So Fury's quite a prideful man. I can't see him renewing that license. But because of this, like you say, if they'll let Fury in the country, man.
Sure.
They'll let, even if he has to come over on a fighter jet, they'll let him in the country. They're gonna let him not go in America because he's making a lot of money over there.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, they're definitely gonna have his ass over there. A lot of people gonna be allowed to go America that make money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just won't be regular tourists and all of that. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna get people going over there on long visa and all of that. But
Joshua was surprised they let him in. He was like, I'm surprised they let him in.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
They wouldn't let him in. He only had a little minor thing on his record. Like, remember, he was saying it was cocaine. It wasn't no cocaine.
Wasn't no coke. It was weed. Yeah.
Well, I don't know where the cocaine thing.
I heard he got pulled over in a Benzo. I heard he.
To make him hard, like make him. See, that's the thing as well. You see, when you lie,
Yeah.
them things there, like you just look stupid. Like, how would America? If he had cocaine for real, there's no way he's getting in America.
True.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine.
Hey, I heard he got pulled over in a Benzo with the weed. I heard he was driving a Benzo. That's what I had read or heard or something.
These
Might have
these
been
days
driving
lie, man. Might have been a rented Benz. Might have been a rented Benz.
Yeah. Maybe.
He only got his Range Rover about 2 years ago. So how we have a Benz?
Maybe it wasn't his. Maybe it was his buddy's jet, and he was trying to stunt like he's Tony Montana, the weed man, Tony Montana. Yo, with a do rag. I could see Joshua. I could see Joshua before we knew him. Try to front like big man. You see a big man like that, he can't make for a good hustler. You too big. You can't hide. You know what I mean? You can't make a good drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? You check it. You gonna get found out. You just not you too big. You know what I'm saying? You check it.
You're right.
Yeah, man.
But they tried to give him image, you know what I mean?
True.
And I feel bad. That's why, look, this is why your promoter shouldn't manage you, you know what I mean?
In England, they do.
Especially if your promoter is not a bad man.
In America, it's illegal. But in England, your promoter can be your manager.
No, he can't.
No, I thought it is. I thought it's
illegal here too, but he's getting away with
what's that guy? What's that guy who used to train guys like Cornelius Bosa Edwards? What's his name? Somebody Duff.
Mickey Duff.
Yeah, wasn't he a promoter and manager?
Yeah, no, but he went to court. They took him to court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they took him to court. That shit's illegal.
So it's illegal there too, the Muhammad Ali Act? I thought it's only in America.
Yeah. No, the Muhammad Ali Act is worldwide. That's all over, everywhere on the planet.
Well, it's an American kind of law, and you know, boxing in the States, we ain't got no commission.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just letting you know that Muhammad Ali Act cover every country on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys love to lie too much, man. I've been saying that. You lot used to think I was hating, innit? I'm telling you the truth. Them guys they lie too much. You know what I mean? And they're kind of bitter as well. They're kind of bitter that Fury's getting the plaudits now. You know what I mean? That's why you see, you notice what happened with that story. What happened with Farmer Joe and
Oh yeah, I
Beef?
forgot all about that. Farmer
Yeah, that
Joe.
story gone now, isn't it? That story
Yeah.
disappeared now.
He ain't hear about nothing about that no more.
These guys lie too much, man.
You think your British Boxing Board of Control and UCAD and stuff are corrupt over there?
Definitely.
They get money under the table, right?
100%,
I
man.
believe so.
They push who they want to push. I remember when they tried to stop David Hay and what you call him, Derek Chisora. Them guys just got a license in Luxembourg, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And they still put on the fight in Britain. You see what I'm saying? You know, Rob Smith, he thinks he runs boxing. He don't run boxing. I don't care what anybody tells you. He don't run boxing. And Beat put a video about it some years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah? You lot need to watch that, man. Rob Smith don't run boxing at all. We don't even really need the British Board of Boxing Control anymore.
Yeah, I think they corrupt because I've seen them give guys like Billy Joe Saunders a pass for some nasal ingestion steroid, but it's illegal in other places. I seen them, Dillian White got popped dirty.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice he got popped.
And then
Twice.
Then they say he's not. The B sample took fucking months to come out. It's just, look, man, it's cloudy and murky, man. There wasn't no B sample, right? Then they said the WBC cleared them. And then, there's people like the Anthony Joshua. I'm not just going to categorize everybody in England because I know there's people in England who are not just biased and swear everything Matchroom and Eddie Hearn says is golden. The fact of the matter was, they say that WBC and the VADA shit is bullshit and it's not to be trusted, But then when it comes to Dillian White, they're like, oh, VADA cleared him. And so that's all it means. Like, VADA cleared him, so he's not dirty. So which one is it? They said that VADA is corrupt. I don't know what evidence they've had to say VADA's corrupt, but when they ruled in favor of Dillian White, VADA cleared him. So it's a hypocrisy.
Okay. It's UCAD that I think is
I think VADA is great for boxing, man.
I'm not just saying that. I'm not bitter. Look, I'm not bitter or nothing like that. I'm just telling you the truth, man.
Mm-hmm.
This country is like one rule for one people, and then look, the only thing about it, they want Tyson Fury to get this license so that they can have that big fight with him and Joshua over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the fact that Tyson's a lineal champion, he may want to do the fight in America anyway.
I think so. He's made his most money in America.
Yeah.
He's popular here.
He sees it as that's the country where I've been given a second chance at life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes a lot. I told you, he's prideful, he's honorable to a degree. Yeah, he's crazy. He's a traveler, but he's honorable to some degree. If you bring him in, he's not going to forget that. So he ain't going to be hopscotch into Robert Smith. That fight may never happen. And I'm gonna say it because he's lineal champion, people will forget about they'll forget about Joshua, man. He had the opportunity to fight Wilder, he didn't take it. Being undisputed champion and then fight the lineal champ, and he would have been unbeaten. Instead, you go and take on all these guys.
He has a track record. If he really wanted to fight for undisputed, wouldn't he be in the States live to watch Tyson Fury versus Wilder winner? He never showed up. You know what I mean? And
twice.
Yeah, he never came. And after the fact, now he wants to talk about fighting. I've seen a pattern with them. How long ago did he ask that crowd in Wembley or wherever when they want to see the Wilder fight? And the crowd wanted to see it next. He asked them after he beat Joseph Parker, as a matter of fact. How long was that? 2017?
Yeah, it was like 16, shit, probably.
So Anthony Joshua, I agree with you. You know, as of right now, Tyson Fury has the bodies on his resume. Not as many um, fighters in between like Joshua has, the Parkers and the Takums and the Charles
Yeah, that's
Martins.
right.
Those guys don't equate to a Wilder and a Klitschko. That's just
Yeah,
what it
No,
comes
no.
down to. You know, Tommy Hearns has a lot of way more fights than what's his name? Than Sugar Ray Leonard. Ray Leonard only got like 40 fights, but just the fighters he fought in that period of time. You know?
and another thing, that's a good point. You see, that, like this is another thing about like the double standards. You see, Tyson Fury is lineal, right? This country,
Two
I'm
time, two
from
time
here. Yeah?
lineal.
They're all about tradition. The lineal title started here. Yeah?
Yeah.
It didn't start in America, it started here. So
Mm-hmm.
how come when Tyson Fury's got the fee, he takes it from Klitschko, you know, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because Joshua don't have it. But if Joshua had it, it would be a big thing. This kind of double standards. No, I'm not saying I'm a lover or hater of either fighter. I'm just saying like it's, you know what I mean.
I
They
agree
don't
with
wanna-
you
they don't wanna
100%.
give me frontal, man.
Charlie, because when Tyson Fury, the week of, when he beat Wilder, before the Wilder excuses, the Anthony Joshua fanatics that I've seen here on YouTube, they even made a video. They weren't trying to recognize Fury as a two-time lineal champ, you know, because they said, "Oh, he can't be number one. He ain't fight AJ." Well, look, whether he's number one or not, that's a matter of opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think he's the best heavyweight on the planet. He's put in the work. He's a two-time lineal champ. But to not give him credit and say he's not because he hasn't fought AJ because AJ has three belts, those people are misled and misguided, and they're actually spitting a false narrative on YouTube because you know how the
Yeah,
thing goes. You know what I mean?
yeah, Anthony Joshua missed the opportunity, man. He missed the opportunity to, get that big payday. You know, make a super fight happen. You know, he let that slip by, and then now you got his Tyson Fury's daddy talking about $100 million. It ain't gonna be no 50 and all this other stuff. You know, he's talking big bucks. He's talking big bucks for this.
Well, I think the fight's big money, especially in the UK.
Yeah, they talking about.
I
But
think
they
it's
talking
a
about.
big money fight, and Tyson Fury is the A side. I don't give a fuck if he's never done 90,000 at Wembley. He's the A side to me.
Yep.
Got it
You know,
now.
you could win. You could be have belts, but who'd you beat? Look who Tyson Fury beat to become champion two times. He beat Wilder and he beat the man. And they could say what they want about Wilder. The fact of the matter
Anthony
is,
Joshua's not even number 3. Not even number 1 now. They got Wilder over Anthony Joshua.
where, which pub? Not in Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine.
They do.
And who?
Box Rec.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I ain't not gonna lie. I never look at box rankings, man. Them rankings, I don't know what they be looking at.
Yeah,
They Fugazi. Them box ring rankings.
Box rack, man.
Yeah.
They be reaching. Well, we just want to see I just always wanted to see the best fight the best. Do I want to see Wilder versus Fury next? I absolutely do. Why? Because the man's contractually obligated. Wilder's made a lot of excuses. Even more reason we need to see the third fight. Let's see if you can do any better. You know what I'm saying? If you lose, you lose. Life goes on, man. It's boxing, man. After that, what we gonna what? We're gonna clamor for a AJ versus Fury fight. But I just don't like the fact how people want Wilder just to get out the picture. They want him to disappear so bad. But me, I didn't want AJ to just disappear after he lost to Ruiz. I wanted to see the rematch. You know what I mean? I picked AJ to win in the rematch. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there talking about, I want to see Wilder versus Andy Ruiz for Undisputed. Man, I only want Undisputed if it makes sense. Not just because. You know what I'm saying?
The only reason why I didn't want I didn't want Ruiz and Joshua too, only because I thought they would have had to have a rubber match, and because they didn't have a rubber match, you know what I mean? Why wasn't Joshua calling out Ruiz for a third fight you know what I mean? Because it's one apiece.
Yeah, it's one apiece.
You know what I mean? He could have done the other one in England. He could have done the third one in England.
Yeah.
Or
and 90,000 people will come out.
Yeah.
Well, let me take that back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether his popularity, if his popularity dwindled after the loss. I'm not sure whether 90 will come out, but I would think so.
They're saying that 90s never come out.
Woo! Well, I heard some people say
90s never come out.
That night when Wilder fought, when Fury and Wilder fought, man, the UK guys who came out, man.
Yeah. I mean, they were cheering for Fury and booing Wilder in the MGM that night. It was a pro-Fury crowd. Just like it was a pro-Hatton crowd when Ricky Hatton fought Floyd Mayweather at the MGM. But Floyd Mayweather is just cut from a different cloth. That don't matter. He still beat the shit out of him. And he thanked the English fans. He said, y'all are some hell of a fans. Thanks for coming out. Y'all paid my bills tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they did, man.
Yeah, they made that. That was a big fight.
That's the craziest thing to me, man. People like hate Floyd and they still pay those pay-per-views. I was like, I don't understand it, man. Like,
Yep.
They paying to see him lose. I was like, that's not a win-win to me.
What about that bad film I said? What Charlo said last Monday, and you said you ain't like that shit. Benavidez and Charlo. What do you think about that?
Charlo gonna get hurt, man. He's gonna get hurt by Benavidez. I got Benavidez. How that guy gonna go up to 160? He ain't even beat nobody at go to 168. He ain't beat nobody at 160.
I don't think nobody want to fight him in 160.
Yeah, well, he better stay there and just beating up tomato cans, man. Because going up to fight Benavidez, he's gonna get hurt. That's a big dude, and he's young.
Plant, he can beat.
Huh?
I don't know about David Benavidez.
I don't even know if he can beat Caleb Plant.
I think you can beat Caleb. Caleb ain't nothing, man.
I don't rate Caleb Plant. I don't like Caleb Plant. I don't think he's on it.
His last fight, he was playing a 160 fighter, and I was just thinking, like, I thought he was gonna blow this dude out. But I realized with Caleb Plant, he needs you to come at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy went there. He had that life and death with that garbage ass dude that beat up the real dude.
Yeah.
Uskatagi.
Yeah, that was. He did. That was the life and death.
And he dropped Uskatagi twice.
Charlo knocked him out. I think Charlo knocked him out.
Hey, look, he dropped Uskatagi twice, and I still had him barely winning the fight. Now, if Uskatagi ain't hit the canvas,
that dude is bad, B. Marsh.
yeah, I'm not high on Caleb Plant. I'm not high on Caleb Plant, but Charlo just got still a lot of questions with this guy at 160.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Then he kind of struggled with that other boy. What's his name? I want to say Matt Korobov.
Oh yeah, Korobov was piecing him up. I thought he won the fight though. You know, I thought Charlo won that fight.
But he struggled.
He looked bad. That southpaw style game, a lot of problems. I might have to watch that fight again and rescore it. I might see something different. You know what I mean? But he looked terrible in that fight. Yeah, Charlo. Charlo. First of all, fight Andrade. Just fight Andrade. I know it's the zone and fucking PBC, and they ain't done nothing yet so far as cross promotions. But but then again, I don't like the fact that Eddie Hearn is always pushing for Charlo to come over there to fight Andrade when Eddie Hearn promotes Andrade and he promotes Triple G. Get the black man that fight versus Triple G. Stop doing him dirty, man. That man Andrade's been a pro since 2012, man. He was in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I said 2012. I'm bugging. I'm sorry. 2008. Because 2013 he became world champion. We're in 2020, and this guy till this day, the best name on his resume is Vanes Martirosyan. As a promoter, you gotta do better, Eddie Hearn. You gotta do better, man. But the Eddie Hearn fanatics, Eddie Hearn says, Eddie Hearn says they swear he does everything. Look, man, you gotta give him credit when he does what's right for boxing. But when he can't even get Andrade, every fighter Andrade fights on his own, I've never heard of him. I've never heard of these guys except Sulecki. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit, man. Andrade, Charlo is on the other side of the street. He's on PBC. DAZN has three middleweight champions. Canoli, Andrade, and Triple G. Just get the man Andrade a fight, man. Get him a fight with one of those guys. I know Eddie Hearn ain't got much control on Golden Boy's Canoli. That's on what's his name, on De La Hoya. But Triple G is co-promoted by Matchroom. You know they want the brothers to beat up each other. Nah, we want to see Andrade versus Triple G or Andrade versus Charlo. And it's not only because of no race thing. It's about Andrade getting a fair shake. Andrade has messed up some fights. He messed up the Lara fight. I believe he ducked Lara. I believe so. He was a mandatory. He had a WBA regular 154-pound title, which he struggled to get versus Jack Colque. Okay? Then he went up and went to the WBO, got himself a 160-pound title. You know what I mean? But make that fight with Triple G, man. That's just what I would like to see for Andrade. I want to see guys fight the best of the best. Charlo, look, Eddie Hearn has shown a pattern of who's his biggest rival in boxing. It's the PBC stable. It's PBC, you know what I mean? It's because PBC has the fighters. They got the names. Matchroom is trying to build their thing on DAZN. Why you think he was pressed to get Tevin Farmer versus Tank Davis? I wanted to see it as well. I'd favor Tank. It was a unification, you know. But he talks about throwing all these guys, these PBC guys, big money. Even Wilder, you know what I'm saying? But he acts like PBC don't have this type of money to pay Wilder, Javante Davis, or Charlo. You know what I mean? You got to bring something better to the table. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, do a purse bid. What happened to purse bids? It's like those things don't exist no more. Fellas need to do a purse bid, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me read what fellas saying in the chat. Boxing Learners in the chat. Oh, PNC was in the chat. He said Crawford and Errol need to get it in. Absolutely. Boxing Learner says Teofimo needs more fights anyway. Devin and Ryan have more fights. What do you mean he needs more fights? More fights than who? Lomachenko? Well, they both have 15 fights apiece. I'm not sure what you mean by Teofimo needs more fights. Teofimo's a world champion. Holds a fraction of the lightweight titles, you know what I mean? So he can fight any and everybody. The best of the best at lightweight, from Haney to Garcia to everybody. Boxing Learner says, June, is that far away? Coronavirus is real, but I think it ain't that dangerous because if you die of something else, but if they have COVID-19 in their body, they count it as a COVID-19 death. You're probably right about them diagnosing almost every death these days and, you know, associating it with the COVID-19, but I'm not taking no chances. But I agree with you on that, yeah. At least in the U.S., absolutely. Charlie Brown in the chat, that's what's up. He says Teofimo versus Tank would be good. Yes, indeed, man. I'd love to see that. And I'd favor Teofimo as we speak right now, you know what I mean? On April 30th, 2020. Boxing Learner says Andrade versus Charlo. I'd love to see that fight, but I would rather see a fight that's more makeable, and that's Andrade versus Triple G. But Triple G is showing you who he is. Triple G has only interest in fighting his mandatory. I forgot that guy's name because it's a guy whom I've never heard of. And he's only interested in getting a third fight with Canoli. But now they're talking about they don't want it next. I don't understand why. I don't know where Triple G is. Maybe Triple G somewhere where he's not getting in no sparring or training or anything. I don't know, but I don't understand why when this epidemic ends, or I'm sorry, pandemic, why Triple G and Jonathan Banks wouldn't go straight into a Canoli fight. Jonathan Banks was basically saying when we wanted to fight them, Triple G said Canoli said they're not ready for the third fight. So we'll see, man. Um, Boxing Learner says GGG doesn't want that fight. Yeah, well, he's a champion, and just like Andrade, unification. Stop ducking with your garbage ass resume. When Triple G started to step up from Danny Jacobs, that's when he started getting exposed. You know what I mean? That's why Canoli took the fight. Said I could beat this guy. It's not a coincidence that when Triple G took his first step up fight of his whole career at the age of like 36, he looked vulnerable, and now he's been on a steady decline. You know what I mean? PNC King says GGG got to move up. He should have been moved up if he ain't gonna fight nobody at 160, except for Canoli. What you got? Go challenge yourself. Or if you're not gonna go move up, there's unifications. I mean, he ducked Charlo. Don't forget, Charlo was the mandatory before got given a free belt. He was the mandatory for Triple G's WBC title. Then Canoli won it, so Canoli now inherited Charlo as the mandatory, and both them guys never fought Charlo. If Charlo's a bum, like people saying they ain't fought nobody, then Triple G and Canoli just fight the guy, put him out of his misery. And I mean, yeah, man. So we shall see, man. What else is popping in the boxing news, man? Y'all heard about let me see. Triple G. I'm sorry, Vasil Lomachenko talking about he would like to have a super fight. His dream fight of a super fight would be versus Floyd Mayweather. What y'all think about him saying that? Hello?
Yo,
Yeah, what y'all think about Lomachenko saying his dream fight would be Floyd Mayweather?
everybody wants some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't you think it's easy for him to say that, being that the fact that Floyd is 43 years old, hasn't fought since, I mean, in a boxing fight, I'm not going to count that shit with tension in Japan on that New Year's Day. He fought McGregor in 2017, 3 years ago. Don't you think that it's ironic that Lomachenko's saying that, but then when he was asked about a Manny Pacquiao fight maybe about a year ago, he said, nah, man, Manny Pacquiao too big at a catch weight of 140 pounds. What y'all think about that?
So,
Yeah.
so
I hate how guys call out fighters who are retired, like Canoli talking about he can beat up Floyd now. Floyd don't fight no more. You had your opportunity. You were 13 years younger than Floyd. Floyd was 36. You were 23. You had a 13-year age advantage. And the little...
Flavor 29.
Huh? You said what?
exactly.
What'd you say? Oh, Mosley?
I said his footwork 49.
Yeah, his footwork's 49 years old. Absolutely. Yeah, and Floyd Mayweather was walking him down. So I think these fighters need to leave Floyd Mayweather alone. You know, because there's guys, living legends out there like Manny Pacquiao for Lomachenko to fight, and I've heard a lot of people say Lomachenko beats Pacquiao. If that's the case, look, Lomachenko ain't no big ticket seller. He don't fight in the big Madison Square Garden. Lomachenko fights in the little room, the little Hulu room.
You said that.
He fights in the little Hulu room. Which probably is like 4,000 seats. He ain't no superstar. He ain't never done a pay-per-view in USA. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a superstar, Lomachenko? Manny Pacquiao's the name for you, man. The whole world will watch that. A pure boxer versus the puncher. Styles make fights. I think Manny Pacquiao will beat the dog shit out of Lomachenko, me personally. I think Pacquiao beats Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But Lomachenko, man, he's a great fighter for his time. You know what I'm saying? Not an all-time great. but for his era, he's a very good fighter. His skill set. Lomachenko got 10 knockouts. He got some kind of sneaky power, man. He got 10 knockouts in 15 fights. Not bad, you know what I mean? A lot of guys quit, maybe because of the boxing lesson they were given. Um, but he did body Linares with a body shot. It wasn't no headshot, and that combination he laid him out with was pretty nice. I like how Lomachenko ended Kroller. Put that man Kroller face down on the canvas, you know what I mean? Face down, ass up, literally. You know what I mean? That was one of his best knockouts. And also Roman Rocky Martinez in Madison Square Garden. Actually, that was a fight. That was one of his few fights, maybe his only fight at Madison Square Garden, you know what I mean? And it was on Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend, and he dispatched Roman Rocky Martinez in devastating fashion, you know? So all we want to see is these guys fight the best. You know, I like Lomachenko, but I don't like the fact that he accepted and requested a franchise belt rather than you want to fight Devin Haney for that unification. You know, you know what I'm saying? That franchise belt is kind of like a protection type of belt for guys like Canoli and Lomachenko, and I ain't gonna give him no pass. You know what I mean? That's a ducking tactic when you receive a franchise belt. Another thing I want to talk about too, man, while we talking about it. Remember where do people get their news from or stuff? Remember when they were talking about Wilder versus Brazil or Wilder versus Ortiz, excuse me, was gonna be for a PBC belt. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where did they get that information from? They've been talking about this PBC belt. I've never seen a PBC belt in my life.
They were talking about
Oh, they was talking about making a PBC bill, but they ain't never do it yet.
When in 2014, right? When PBC first came on the airwaves.
Awesome.
The truth of the fact of the matter is, there's no fighter on the planet Earth, especially a PBC fighter who's ever fought for a PBC belt, and no fighter holds a PBC belt.
No, they was talking about making one. They ain't got a bill, PBC bill.
Yeah, there isn't any, you know.
No.
But why was it only Wilder eligible for a mythical franchise belt? But I didn't hear PBC belt. But I didn't hear there's numerous champions on the PBC, especially in the United States. The majority of world champions in America are on the PBC. So where'd they get that from?
I think that came out when they started the WBO.
Yeah.
No. The article. No, hold on.
I came around the time when they said they won't acknowledge the WBO when they gonna come out with one of those.
Now, when they say that they don't acknowledge it, I can agree with them to a certain extent. Actually, I can agree with them because when Andy Ruiz was a heavyweight champion of the world, they would say he's the IBF and WBA champion. They didn't say he has a WBO belt. You know what I mean? And when Andy Ruiz was world champion, if you saw him holding any belt, it was always the WBO belt because he said that was the most precious belt to him because he felt that he beat Joseph Parker in New Zealand for the vacant WBO belt.
He did.
Yeah.
He did beat Parker in New Zealand.
Yeah. So he felt now this is vindication. He got back the WBO belt, and that's what he would usually parade around the world with. You know what I mean? But look, the WBC don't even rank the WBO don't rank PBC fighters. They don't. Only one guy they do rank.
Hold on. I'm reading right now. Fox Sports executive Bill Wagner said.
You sound a little muffled, my G.
Yeah.
You sound a little muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely, yeah.
It says Fox executive Bill Wagner says the premier boxing champions are going to try and create their own title called the PBC belt.
Uh-huh.
They have their own PBC champion. It's still not a done deal yet with the PBC belt of the title. It's something that's being talked about. It can soon become a reality. This is from November 19th,
November 19th, what year?
2019.
Oh, November 2019?
Yeah.
They've been talking
Yeah, I remember them talking about it in 2014 when PBC
Yeah.
came on the airwaves. And
Right.
because
Yeah.
remember, the champions, all the champions, when PBC started in 2014, they ain't walk down to the ring
Right. He
showing
said
their
he don't
belt.
recognize the WBO title as one of the major titles. Right.
Yeah, but till this day, 2020, man, there's no such thing as a PBC belt. You know what I mean? So up until we do see one, which I doubt we'll ever see one, because I think that will be alienating yourself from all other cross promotions. You know what? Like I don't think
Yeah.
it'd be. It's PBC's not like the UFC, even though
Yeah.
it. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think PBC isn't quite like the UFC because PBC has done cross promotions with like Wilder and Fury. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think it would be. I think it would turn off a lot of people if there's just a PBC belt. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention in boxing, there's too many belts to begin with. There's too many.
That's that's part of the point they trying to make. They're trying to make the league. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they already do have a kind of league with PBC.
Yeah, but the thing is, but they still going through the distinction of bodies and stuff like that, fights and stuff like that. Like if we had a boxing league, maybe we'll see more fights and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it could just be one person running it, and we get the point we want. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
like what
think.
you think, but I think that the thing is that these fighters they get promoted, they come up, but we don't get the fights that we want when we want to see them and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a timely manner. Like we should have got the Anthony Joshua the versus Wilder fight. I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
Well, the closest that fight was ever to be made was in 2017 when Wilder accepted the $15 million flat fee,
yeah,
and then Eddie Hearn and them said, "Oh, we got 24 hours to make a Povetkin fight for a mandatory." I've
right.
never seen that type of shit in
Like
boxing in
a
my
fucking
life.
week and shit. It took a fucking week where it's on 24 hours. It took a fucking week. That was some bullshit.
Yeah, so I thought that was BS because at the end of the day, if Eddie Hearn and them know what makes them the most money, it's a fight with Wilder and Fury. I'm sorry, Wilder and AJ makes more money than
Right.
Povetkin versus. Yeah, and at the end of the day, he's just a mandatory. You know what I mean?
So it's not about the money. It's more milking. You know what I'm saying? They're milking the fans.
Not to mention they lowballed Wilder, and if he accepted 15 million, that means that guy AJ was gonna get the lion's share of the purse.
Right.
So yeah, man, I agree 100%, man. But I think the PBC. Look, man, I'm not a fan of no promoter. I'm a fan of boxers, and I like boxers on every single promotional company out there from Matchroom. On Matchroom, I like guys like Estrada. I like Chocolatito. You know what I'm saying? I like there's fighters I like on every stable. You know what I'm saying? On Top Rank, I like Bud Crawford. I like Lomachenko. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I like fighters on every platform. I'd like to see cross promotions happen. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Spence versus Crawford. You know what I mean? But
I'm gonna be honest. I just don't like Eddie Hearn.
yeah, Eddie Hearn does lie a lot. He's
Man,
full of shit.
I don't listen to him, bro.
I don't. You think I'll be listening to him talking for a whole hour on IFL TV? Man, I don't give him 30 seconds. That's
Yeah,
what I don't do. But guess who?
Drew was false.
His the Eddie Hearn and Matchroom fanboys, they listen to the whole hour. And then that's now they talking points.
Yeah,
What Eddie Hearn says, you know,
yeah.
and
I,
while I've been watching boxing, I've seen Eddie Hearn protect his fighters. He tried to protect Kell Brook from Errol Spence. He tried to. Errol Spence won his title eliminator to be mandatory, and they still had to make that man fight another one. Same with Carl Froch and Adonis Stevenson. You know,
yeah, but
Eddie
why you
Hearn.
make that Triple G fight though?
Huh?
Why you make that Triple G fight?
He made the Kell Brook Triple G fight just because he wants to bring a big event to London. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Rather than make the unification with Jesse Vargas versus Kell Brook, he wanted to make, and that was on the table. That was what initially was scheduled. But Kell Brook was kind of bitching about the money that Vargas was going to be making in the unification. And he decided he's like, okay, now let's fight Kell Brook. I'm sorry, Triple G. That ruined that kid, man. That fight ruined Kell Brook. He was never the same after that. For what? For 2 rounds just to look good against Triple G? That was bad. Triple G fucked up on that one. I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn. I hate how he put that man in there with Triple G. You know what I mean? Because Kell Brook, I love how he came to the States and beat Sean Porter. I won some money off of that. I knew he would. You know, I wasn't sold. What's that guy? What's that guy from the Contender, man? I thought that guy beat Sean Porter.
Oh,
What's,
I can't think of it.
what's that guy named, Chris? Remember him?
Gomez?
Yeah, Gomez. Alfonso Gomez.
Alfonso Gomez, you thought he beat Sean Porter?
They fought twice. The first fight was a draw. That fight, I thought he beat Sean
Oh, I
Porter.
missed that one, man. I don't think I've seen him.
Yeah, they fought twice. And then he got him in the rematch. So I was never sold on him.
I know K9 Buncher did good, man. Coming out of that tournament, man. K9 Buncher did good.
Yeah. K9 went on to become a 2-time champion with the junior middleweight coming out that tournament.
Sergio Moore, he fell asleep at the wheel. He got a belt for as soon as he got it.
Yeah. Versus, what's that guy? Vernon Forrest, rest in peace.
He beat, who did Jesse Brinkley get an upset again?
I can't quite remember. It's been a while.
Damn, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, boxing, man, if all the best could fight the best, boxing will be in a better place, you know what I mean? I personally don't have no hate for no fighter, you know? For what, man? Boxing's supposed to be my entertainment, you know what I mean? I call out fighters when they're not doing right for boxing, you know, but at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. But nobody can sit there and act like they support or are a fan of a certain promoter and hate another promoter. They hate Al Heyman, but they've never even heard this guy speak. They don't know his thought process. He doesn't come on camera and lie to you like Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. Bob Arum has admitted yesterday I lied. Today I'm telling the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, Bob Arum lied so hard. He said that they're waiting for Pacquiao and Mayweather. They're trying to build a stadium in Las Vegas. Who believed that? That was some BS, man. You know? To me, I know he's the one who prolonged that fight. Up until you seen Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. Now, you know, let's make that fight happen with Floyd. You know what I'm saying? But right now in boxing, man, we got a lot of fighters who not doing what they supposed to do, but we got to give credit to those who are. I don't come here and bash fighters who get punched in the face for a living for my entertainment, but I will be critical by saying what if they're not doing what they're supposed to do for boxing. Let me read the chat. What fella said in the chat? Boxing Learner says that's a nice dream fight. Pac-Man versus Lomachenko is possible. Pac-Man versus Lomachenko is possible, but he called Manny and has been and his weird fanboys. Loma got some weird fanboys. He absolutely does. Boxing Learner, whenever I make a video about Lomachenko, even when I'm talking about him in a positive manner, man, the fanboys, they come and be trolling me, man. And they're really annoying. I could probably say, from my experience, they are probably the worst fanboys that I've come across as far as recently, you know what I mean, in the last couple of years.
Who you talking about?
No, Lomachenko. Anthony Joshua fanboys, they come on my live stream, and that's why I know they fanboys, but I'll be flaming them up. Especially when they try to come in, they try to disrespect me on my channel. Now,
I didn't know Loma had any fans.
Now he does, very few, but he does. But the Anthony Joshua fans, I make videos. My channel ain't a pro Anthony Joshua, pro Wilder, pro Errol Spence, pro Crawford. It's not a fanboy. It's not a fan page. Like, like you've seen on Instagram or on Facebook or even on YouTube, a Beyonce fan page for Beyonce fans, or Michael Jackson, even if he's passed away, might have a Twitter or Instagram account with millions of followers. Michael Jackson fan page. My channel ain't like that. Now there's YouTube channels out here that are YouTube fan page channels for certain boxers. You know what I mean? Now I talk about everybody, all boxers, all weight classes. These guys never show up when I talk about anybody else. But when I talk about AJ, they come in the live stream. How comes they never come when I talk about anybody else? When I talk about Lomachenko, now they show up. But when I talk about anybody else, you guys are never there. That's why I can't take those type of people serious, because you only have one talking point. And there are many channels out here that only exist because Anthony Joshua's around. If Anthony
fights like once a year and shit. Once a year.
Who, Joshua?
Yeah.
Joshua fight twice a year. He fights twice a year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like twice a year. I don't know how you can be a fan of boxing and talk about one person.
Yeah, those type of guys, I never take them serious. You can't come talk boxing to me when you only show up when I talk about the guy that you worship. You know what I mean? You can't be worshiping these guys because you like their pecs, you like how they look without a shirt on. That's what we're not doing on B Marsh Boxing Channel. And I don't do this shit for subs or views. I do this YouTube shit for the love of boxing, to chop it up with y'all. You know what I mean? You check it. I don't do it for no fan base. I ain't never sold my soul for nobody. And that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? But you're absolutely right, Boxing Learner. Loma got some weird fanboys. And he says, Boxing Learner says, same. Manny beats Loma. I agree. PNC says, Loma ain't got it. I got Manny. I agree with both of y'all. Boxing Learner says, the Mikey fight should have happened. And then that fight, I think Mikey Garcia ducked Lomachenko. I got Mikey ducking Lomachenko. Just like what's his name? Errol Spence. I'm sorry, Amir Khan. They talk about these guys are brave. They went up 2 weight classes to fight Canoli. No, Amir Khan went to fight Canoli in order to duck a world champion at the time in Kell Brook. What did the man Amir Khan always tell Kell Brook? Go get yourself a belt, then we could fight. The same thing Errol Spence, Keith Thurman told Terrence Crawford. Get yourself a belt, then we could fight. Kell Brook got himself an IBF belt, came all the way to USA to beat Sean Porter, and that man, Amir Khan, still ducked him and went to fight Canoli and got put to sleep. You know what I mean? You check it. So same thing with Mikey Garcia. He ducked Vasyl Lomachenko for a unification, for 3, not even for fucking 3 belts, for undisputed, man. For undisputed, because Mikey Garcia had a WBC and the IBF belt that he beat. He beat the tall dude from Toledo. What's his name? What's Bunny's real name? Robert Easter. You know what I mean? He had 2 straps, WBC and IBF. Lomachenko had WBO and WBA. All we needed was a fight for undisputed. This fucking guy, Mikey Garcia, went to fight Errol Spence and didn't even win 1 second of that fight, man. Disgusting. And I know he ducked Lomachenko. I don't care what nobody say. So I agree, Mike Boxing Learner, he says that fight should have happened. Absolutely. Boxing Learner asks, do you think Manny versus Crawford will happen? Hey, if Manny Pacquiao thinks if he thinks Terrence Crawford is fat right now and is gaining a lot of weight, that's the rumorville. That Terrence Crawford is not so much in shape right now. He might be chilling too much with Bomac. You seen Bomac? Bomac's a big dude, man. He's a big round dude, man. He might be chilling with Bomac a little too much. And his wife as well, man. I'm not no disrespect to his wife, but I've heard that he's not training as much, and maybe that's why Manny Pacquiao would like to get him in the ring. Do I think it'll happen? I don't know. I have no idea. Time will tell right now with boxing. I don't know who's fighting. There's nothing on the schedule, man. I don't know. I'd love to see that fight. I always wanted to see it. You know, there was a point in time where even when Bud Crawford was climbing up the pound for pound ranks, I wasn't so sure if he beats Manny Pacquiao. But after the Jeff Horn fight, I thought that Manny Pacquiao won. but he looked terrible versus Jeff Horn. Even though I thought he won, I was like, I don't know if he can beat the man Crawford right now because Crawford hadn't really fought nobody of the caliber of Manny Pacquiao. So we shall see, man. Do I think it'll happen? Time will tell, man. Boxing learner said Kell Brook was so dumb. Absolutely, man. He was dumb. He got duped and coerced to go and get his orbital bone broken, man. Just for a big fight, man. Just so he could have Triple G. No, that was bad. That was bad management and promotion by Eddie Hearn. And that's like Eddie Hearn left this guy. What's the guy's name? What's that guy from what's the guy, tall dude? Luke Campbell. Yo. He let Luke Campbell fight Lomachenko for that vacant title. He didn't care about we all knew Lomachenko was gonna win that fight. Why didn't the guy protect his fighter and Luke Campbell and say, nah, we're not fighting you? But again, maybe Eddie Hearn had more confidence in he thought Luke Campbell versus Devin Haney, my guy will lose to Devin Haney and he won't get paid that much. It's a high risk, low reward. But fighting Lomachenko was a high risk, high reward. Maybe that's how Eddie Hearn looked at it, and maybe that's how he broke it down to Luke Campbell, and Luke Campbell went along with Eddie Hearn's plan. Okay, where we at? Boxing Learner says GGG was supposed to fight Eubanks. Absolutely, he was supposed to fight Eubanks. And rather than fight Eubank, Chris Eubank, and that fight was on the table. If I'm not mistaken, it was close to being signed. Like Eubank probably and them, they signed their end of the contract. And then Triple G and them, they just left that fight alone. And before you knew it, they announced Triple G versus Kell Brook. Terrible. Terrible. Boxing Learner is asking in the chat, he says, Manny had a lot of fan pages on YouTube, but most only speak Filipino. And those are perfectly fine. He's a national treasure to his country. He's the most he's like the most prized possession of the Philippines. I remember when he was gonna fight Oscar De La Hoya. Remember, Manny Pacquiao was coming from 135 to fight De La Hoya at 147. Sure enough, De La Hoya hadn't fought at 147 in 7 years. He trained himself, came down to 147. Manny Pacquiao came up 2 weight classes from 135. The government in Philippines, dogs, I'm talking about heads of state, was talking about no, Manny Pacquiao should not go fight this guy. De La Hoya will kill him. That's what they were saying. A real talk. They said it's too dangerous. They were trying to protect their national treasure. You know what I mean? Remember that shit, Chris?
About
When Manny Pacquiao went up 2 weight classes to fight Oscar De La Hoya in his country, in the Philippines.
Yeah, I remember that.
The
I remember that.
yeah,
I
his
thought De La Hoya's gonna whip me.
now I had Manny Pacquiao winning just off the strength, man. That guy De La Hoya looked like a shriveled up raisin, draining himself down to 147. You know what I mean?
That's what people thought, but when people saw him at the weigh-in and shit,
Yeah.
a lot of people changed their mind, but some people didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I knew Manny Pacquiao.
I ain't gonna lie, before that,
That was a fight for me.
if it was at a catchway, I say, well, I ain't know Austin was gonna come in that way at 145.
With the IV marks in his hand, trying to get some blood.
Yo, he didn't even gain no weight.
Yeah, and that's why he got battered. Oh, for 8 rounds, Manny Pacquiao. Ain't nobody in boxing history ever fuck up De La Hoya's face like what Manny Pacquiao did to Oscar in that fight. His face was swole. Slim got busted up. You know what I mean? But my point was the government in the Philippines was they said Pacquiao don't take that fight. They was like talking about it in their Capitol Hill in the Philippines. Like no, Pacquiao don't take that fight. You're gonna get hurt. It's dangerous. But Manny Pacquiao, man, at them times, man, he was on top of his game and he did what he did.
Did you watch that 24/7 when I think Freddie Roach bringing the IV Morrison he told him that was like after the fight they were telling what's going on. You seen the IV
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. When Freddie Roach, the first one who seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? so Manny Pacquiao, like I said, man, he's a national treasure to his country. That's why, if he has fan pages that only on YouTube that speak Philippines, on my YouTube analytics, of course, the most countries that watch my videos on YouTube, number one obviously is America, number two is England, third is the Philippines, and fourth is Japan. You know what I mean? And I know that that's because I also talk about fighters from Asia, like the little weights, whenever they have fights. I wake up at times. Naoto always puts us on. And I watch them fights and I cover them, you know what I mean? So, B March Boxing ain't no biased channel, dogs. I'm not like that, man. My channel ain't no fan page, you know what I mean? I like a whole plethora of fighters, you know what I'm saying? And Deontay Wilder, ain't nobody gonna make me not like Wilder. That's what I've had people unsubscribe from me. And some people have even labeled me as an LDVC just because I like Wilder. That's a slap in the face. That's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to me and disrespectful to the LDBC fellas. Because now you're just labeling me. What? Because I'm black? Because I like Wilder? That's disrespectful, man. You know what I'm saying? And nothing against the LDBC fellas. Them fellas doing their thing. You know what I mean? I don't come on this YouTube shit and bash them. What they doing their thing. But I ain't never claimed LDBC in my life. And just because I'm black and I like Wilder, even if Wilder gets knocked the fuck out, dogs, I'm going to still be a fan of Wilder. Wilder says some dumb shit, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to say, yo, Wilder, you bugging, man. That suit, man, you can't be blaming your suit for that fight, for losing that fight. But at the end of the day, I'm going to still like Wilder. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. And
The only thing I feel was wrong with that fight, I don't think it was the suit. I think it was more Tyson Fury leaning on him.
yeah,
Yeah, he was leaning on him.
it was 273. Wilder was 228.
And I told people before that fight, that's why he did that shit on purpose. That's why he came in at 273.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. That's 40 pounds. 40 pounds is a lot. That's a lot.
Hell yeah.
At 40 pounds and getting punched in the face will take a toll. And Wilder, everybody knows Wilder's legs, they're skinny legs, and in boxing, just like Tommy Hearns, you know what I mean? He didn't have the biggest calves. Manny Pacquiao got stupid big calves. But Pacquiao's size of his body's proportion for his height. He's like 5'5", 5'6". And, those type of guys are like wrecking balls. You know what I mean? You check it. So, so it is what it is, man. I think I told y'all this, man. There's a guy. See how these people, how they've picked sides, right? There's a guy who used to subscribe to me, used to come to my channel all the time, right? One day I made a video about Dante's Boxing Nation. It was a response because Dante's Boxing Nation and another channel called Blue Blood Sports or something, they was talking about Roy Jones like he's the best middleweight of all time. And they said that Roy Jones would beat up Marvin Hagler. I was like, huh? Huh? I was like, nah, you bugging. Roy Jones is a great fighter, but he ain't beating no Marvin Hagler. So I made a response video. I ain't diss Dante's Boxing Nation. I ain't disrespect him. I just told him, y'all bugging, man. He ain't beating no. And I gave him reasons why, whatever. So this guy, this Hispanic guy who was a subscriber, he came in my comment section and told me, hey, man, don't listen to Dante's Boxing Nation. You're not like Dante's Boxing Nation. You're better than them. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. To me, I took it like you think I'm a token Negro or something, right? I let that shit slide, right? Over the years I make these videos, I see the guy come in my comment section and he be kind of bitching about PBC fighters, whatever. I always respond to him. I never just didn't respond to him. Then he came to tell me, yo, B Marsh, man, I don't even watch PBC fights. I don't watch PBC. I just come to your channel to listen to the results because I believe you're going to be fair with what you saw as far as your post-fight results. So to me, I'm like, if you don't even care to watch the PBC fights for, what do you care about the results for? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? As a man, I watch boxing on any channel. I watch boxing on the Disney Net channel. I watch it on BET. I watch it on MTV, on the cooking channel. Don't matter. But I was thinking, why? What's the point of just coming to listen to post fight review if you ain't gonna watch the fights? Anyways, I seen a pattern in this guy. I forgot what video it was about, but he came bitching about PBC fighters in a video that had nothing to do with any fighters from PBC. Now this time I got fed up and I flamed him up in the comment section. And I told him, Dawes, if you don't like PBC fighters or if you don't want to watch them, then don't come and tell me that you don't watch them or you trying to give me backhanded compliments. Like, I don't care nothing about that, man. You know, I like PBC fighters. You know, and I know the trend out here, to hate on PBC because they have a majority of black fighters. If you don't like black fighters, that's on you, man. You ain't got to come and tell me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude got in his feelings and he responded to me about 24 to 48 hours after, and he wrote me a long ass message. And then at the end of it, he punctuated it with, by the way, congratulations to Anthony Joshua being a two-time champion beating Andy Ruiz. I didn't even respond back to him. I just seen his ignorance. You're a Hispanic dude. Slim's name is a Hispanic dude. You here bragging about how your Hispanic fighter just got beat by an English fighter. Is that the kind of hatred you have? So much hatred for PBC that Andy Ruiz being a PBC fighter who took that fight on short notice, that you still just didn't want him to win because he's on PBC? That just goes to show how these people are, you know what I mean? Slim ain't come to my channel ever since he talked that dumb shit, but he came not too long ago and he wrote something in the comment section like he wants to see Tyson Fury versus Wilder 3 because he wants to see Tyson Fury catch a body. He was you know what I'm saying? He basically say he wants to see Tyson Fury kill Wilder. Hey man, I didn't even respond back to that comment because now you ain't talking boxing no more. You showing your true colors. You know what I mean? And if you unsubscribe, you said you want to unsubscribe. I told them be my guest because you know the name of the game. One person some subscribes, somebody else will subscribe. That's just how it goes. You know what I mean?
I gotta go right now.
Yeah, I'm about to seal up this live stream too, man. You know, I'm just glad I.
All right, PNC.
Yes, indeed. PNC, big up to Chris Caban. Big
All
up.
right, y'all. All right.
Be safe out there, y'all.
I'm about to peace out.
Yeah, man.
Popcorn, man.
All right. Yeah, man. Let me read the chat before I step up out of here. Okay, Boxing Learners in the chat. All right. He says, I admit I'm not big on Wilder. That's cool, man. You know, that's fine. You know, you don't have to like Wilder. You know, that's just the truth of the matter. You know, everybody, that's what the world, what makes the world go around. You know what I mean? Everybody has their preferences. You know what I mean? Some people like vanilla ice cream. Some people like chocolate. Some people like a swirling kind of ice cream. They like a mixture of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. You know what I mean? Some people like Hondas for, you know, efficient vehicles. You know what I mean? That ain't gas guzzlers. Some people like Honda Accords and Acuras like myself. Some people like Toyota Camrys. You know what I mean? You know, as long as you come talking boxing and ain't on no hatred shit, I can dig it, man. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta like Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you talking boxing and you're not on no racist shit or just talking dumb shit like, you know, that's not boxing related, then I have no problem whatsoever, you know what I mean? And I have plenty of people who subscribe to B Marsh Boxing who are not Wilder fans. And that's fine, but don't come and call me no fucking LDBC because I like Wilder. And I'm gonna like Wilder. I'm gonna like Wilder for life. And if you listening, whoever's listening to this, and you don't like Wilder or don't like the fact that B Marsh Boxing is a fan of Wilder, because I've been watching Slim since 2008. I've seen him lose for the bronze medal. He lost to an Italian cop, a guy by the name of somebody Russo, a guy who I've seen many years in the Olympics, even in 2012, even probably 2016. He's an Italian cop who never turned pro. He's just content with being a standout amateur. And, You know what I'm saying? And he's a guy who gets a lot of sponsorships in Italy. You know what I mean? So for him, it's probably better off just staying in the amateur ranks. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I've been watching Wilder from a long time, just like I've been watching Guillermo Rigondeaux and Vasyl Lomachenko. I cover the Olympics on my channel. Not just Americans. I cover Hassan Boy Dusmatov. I cover Johnny Gonzalez, Johnny Abiga. What's that guy from Cuba? All them guys. Everybody who was fighting, I was covering F.A. Jagba. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to see these guys' maturation as they turn pro. I know where Deontay Wilder came from, and I'm going to be a fan regardless if anybody wants to unsubscribe or not. That's on you. Jed Kyle's in the chat. He says, I'm not high on this whole heavyweight division. Prime Larry Holmes schools them all with just his jab. I agree with you 100%. Larry Holmes, you know, in that stupid ass BT boxing poll in England, they had fucking Anthony Joshua beating Larry Holmes. That was disgusting. I was hurt by that, man. I was hurt by seeing that. Larry Holmes would batter Anthony Joshua, and that's just the truth, you know. Jed Kyle, you says you're not high on this whole heavyweight division. A lot of people talk about it because of the fanboyism. They've picked sides. There's Fury. There's guys who are out there for Fury. Big time. You know what I'm saying? Wait till a fight with Anthony Joshua versus Fury gets made. You'll see a division. You'll see a division because they tried to get together the Fury and Anthony Joshua fans to tag team on Wilder. You know what I mean? You check it. So at the end of the day, um, with that being said, when them two so do happen to fight, Fury versus what's his name, Tyson Fury, Fury versus Anthony Joshua, you're gonna see a divide and you're gonna see people's true colors. You know what I mean? I've already started seeing them here on this boxing YouTube shit. You know, they true colors about how they really feel about Fury and what it will get to when he comes up against Anthony Joshua. Me personally, as a guy here in the United States who follows and loves American boxing from day one, I think American boxing is the mecca of boxing. You may disagree if you want, but that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not now. We always have been. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna root for nobody between Tyson Fury and AJ. I just want to see the best win. Whoever wins, may the best man win. When it comes to Wilder versus AJ or Fury, I'm gonna root for the American. Ain't no patriotic thing. I'm not even from the United States. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I would love for the heavyweight titles to be here in USA. Now, nothing against any other part of the world. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could have the titles over there in England, but believe you me, there's more cachet, more value on them straps when they resides in the United States, or even if to fight them, wherever part of the world they from, is defending them titles here in the United States. That's just the truth of the matter. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says Larry Holmes beats Joshua 10 times out of 10. I agree with you 100%. And especially, you know, his recovery, man. When Larry Holmes gets dropped, his recovery power is second to none in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? He'll get off the canvas and start giving you a thorough ass whooping. You know what I mean? So yes, indeed, man. This is just some random boxing talk. We was all over the place, but it is what it is. Big ups to Jed Kyle. Salute. Thanks for coming through as always. Jed Kyle's been a long time listening to my channel, and I appreciate it, especially when it comes to old school boxing. You always give your input, and it's much appreciated. Because if anybody knows B Marsh Boxing Channel, my channel, ain't nothing like the old school. I love old school boxing more than anything. People are suffering right now because ain't no boxing. Not me. There's a plethora of fights on YouTube and all kinds of online to watch. You know what I mean? Some of these fights I've seen them hundreds of times. I still watch them again and I still get thrills and a chill down my spine. Big ups to Boxing Learner. Big ups to PNC. Everybody who was in this piece. Charlie Brown. Big ups to everybody who came through. Salute to all y'all. B Marsh Boxing. Riyad Damani. Thanks a lot for coming through. I haven't quite seen you before in the chat. But he says, boxing in USA regresses since Hagler and Co. I absolutely disagree with that, man. Come on, man. You can't come here, Rihad Damani. I've never seen you, even though you said it was the good time. You can't say that boxing has regressed in America since Hagler. Are you serious? That 1987? Are you mad? Dogs. Wow. Manny Pacquiao's Filipino. Guess where he built and made his bones? USA. Juan Manuel Marquez, the Barrera Morales, all these guys. Yes, they Mexican fighters. Guess what? Where were their biggest paydays? They weren't going to be in Mexico. They were in the United States. If you want to just talk solely about American fighters, I got two names. One word for you. Floyd. You know what I mean? Since 90s, nah, I disagree, man. I disagree. Boxing is not as popular as it was in the 20s and the 30s, in the 40s and the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, boxing is still, it's still a sport where the purses are humongous, especially in the United States. Look at the purses Fury and Wilder made. You know what I mean? Look at the purses Floyd Mayweather makes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters in USA, they get paid more than in England, than matchroom fighters get paid, with the exception of Anthony Joshua. They get paid more than all fighters in all parts of the globe, you know what I mean? Boxing ain't never died in America, dogs. It's not the most popular sport like it was one time when it was the most important sport in America. I'm talking about days like Jack Dempsey, you know what I mean? Where these guys could actually get 100,000 people in a stadium. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if any fighter in currently in boxing in America can command that kind of attendance, but boxing is still popping in the USA, you know what I mean? You check it, fighters obviously are not as tough as fighters from back in the day. There's a lot more ducking going on, but fighters was ducking guys back in the day too. You know what I mean? Um, Riyad Damani says they were more endurant, more aggressive, like Sugar Ray Leonard. Fighters are still aggressive till this day, man. I can't take nothing away from fighters today, man. I just can't do that. I watch the sport, and I still get thrills watching the sport. Some years are better than others, as far as let's say from 2010 till 2020. Some years are better than others, but fighters are still we still have some great fighters out there. Fellas like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Vasyl Lomachenko, even though he's not American. But if you just gonna talk about American fighters, we got him, man. We got him, dogs. Mikey Garcia is Mexican American, born in USA. I mean, now I agree with you. I can agree with you, Riyad Damani, that if you're talking about the 80s, Riyad Damani, listen, the 1980s was the greatest era of boxing, period. In the 200-year sport of boxing, the 80s was the best year of boxing. You know what I mean? Those were the best fighters ever to me were in the 80s. So if you want to compare today's era versus the 80s, compare also the 50s versus the 80s, 60s versus the 80s. There's nothing to compare. So your era you talk about with Ray Leonard, that was a great era. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says, my country never had a heavyweight champ, but the first African American heavyweight champ won his belt here. What's your country? First African American heavyweight champ was Jack Johnson. Jack, what country you from, Jack Kyle? I thought Jack Johnson won his country. I mean, won his belts in USA, or was it Australia? Where you from, Jed Kyle? What's your country, my G? I'd like to know before I seal up this live stream. Because you said, my country never had a heavyweight champ, but the first African American heavyweight champ won his belt here. Australia, okay. That's what I was thinking, Australia. Yeah, Australia, absolutely, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So, yo, big ups to everybody in the chat, man. Jed Kyle says, yeah, the 70s and 80s were incredible. Absolutely, man. The 80s especially 80 to 85. Jesus Christ. All I could say is, yeah, Jed Kyle, you said Jack Johnson won it in Sydney. Absolutely, yeah, he did. He beat Tommy Burns. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So, yo, big ups to everybody in the chat. Shout outs to all y'all coming through, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone. Peace.